Hey, my name's Chris Lambert, co-host of Watching the Throne, a lyrical analysis of Kanye West, the #1 Kanye podcast. And this is one of the breakout episodes we do here on the YouTube channel, where it's a bit more my in-depth thoughts on a specific topic. The topic today being this article, an op-ed, 070 Shake and the double-edged sword of being a Kanye protege. And the reason why I wanted to address this article specifically has to do with an issue that I have with a lot of these think pieces, is that they bring up a conversation that I think is worth having, but they usually do so in a very narrow, one-dimensional manner, rather than something that would be a little bit more objective or replete, I guess, or multi-dimensional, and look at the various perspectives. And I just think this article, while bringing up an interesting topic, fails to address all of the perspectives that it should. So the structure of the article, just to go over that, is that it introduces Shake's work on the Wyoming projects, and then gets into the history of Kanye's proteges, starting with a rundown of the successful ones: John Legend, Chance the Rapper, Kid Cudi, Lupe Fiasco, Big Sean, and Travis Scott, who, got a little bit of a rub or shine or first looks or attention due to their association with Kanye, but have been able to turn that into something self-sustaining. It then goes through artists that maybe haven't been as successful as you'd expect, and the connotation is that maybe that's because of Kanye or good music. So the artists that it goes into are Teyana Taylor, Sci-Hi the Prince, Consequence, Designer, and Mr. Hudson. And it details in some ways the complaints that people could have regarding these artists and good music, which, again, I think are very valid talking points and talking points that should be brought up. But one of the things that's missing is the reversal. It's not just what good music or Kanye West wasn't able to do with these artists, but also there's not conversation about the artists themselves. Which so much of what an artist is able to do comes down to where they're at in the pursuit of their craft, their work ethic in pursuit of their craft, but also their work ethic, not just with the craft stuff, but with the actual production and release of these things. It's not like good music can babysit them or do the work for them. And that's not to say that I want to place all the blame on these artists, but it's just saying that that's part of the conversation, right? If I don't do the work, it's not my publisher's fault that I haven't released a book in 3 years. Like, my first novel came out in March of 2015, and we initially thought the sequel was going to come out in 2017. And now it's mid-2018 and it's still not out. A lot of that's on me and my work ethic with writing, right? I read every day, I write a little bit every day, but that's not always on the novel. I'm doing other things, working on other things, and if somebody was to complain that Kingshot Press has held Chris Lambert down, like it's been 3 years and there hasn't been a release, I mean, that's just on my pace of work. But then there's a whole other conversation regarding what good music is aiming to do, what quality they expect from their artists, and whether that's fair or unfair. For example, Sci-Hi. Was Sci-Hi ready to release an album in 2014 that good music felt good about, that Kanye felt good about? Was he ready to do that in 2016, 2017? I don't know. But that's part of the conversation with that good music as a brand, as a company, has a certain kind of product that they want to release. And I being part of the publishing world, the literary world, I'm editor-in-chief of the literary journal Red Fez, and we get submissions that are great, but they don't fit what Red Fez is trying to do. Or maybe we have 12 poems that we're going to publish and don't want to publish 13, 14, 15. There are times where somebody could write a sci-fi story that leans a little bit more towards realism and is really good and submit it to a publication that focuses more on hard sci-fi. And that place will reject the piece just because it doesn't quite fit the tone of the journal. There's just so many other aspects that go into whether or not an album comes out, whether or not good music has done right by consequence. Comes down to so much more than just good music or good music being irresponsible. I'm sure that there are things that good music and Kanye could have done to help these artists, but I don't think the blame is squarely on them, at least from the information we have. That part of the discussion needs to be, what has Mr. Hudson been doing? What has Teyana Taylor been doing? How much work has been going on behind the scenes just to help those artists develop their craft and get to the point where Teyana releases something like Keep That Same Energy. It's a more nuanced and complicated discussion than I think what this puts out. And I don't know how many people that aren't artists are aware of everything that goes into whether or not a project is coming out, or the time between projects, or just what a business is hoping to do, or what a label is hoping to do with a project. Maybe there are just creative differences between the label and the artist, and that's why an album doesn't come out. And that artist could go be successful elsewhere, but I don't think it necessarily means that the label was wrong or the artist was wrong. Both are just trying to do what they think is right for them. So I don't know. I would have much rather liked something that was more research oriented, but I do think that the conversation this brings up is a good one to have, right? Would love to hear your thoughts. If you're enjoying what we're doing on this channel, we're trying to monetize and need to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you could subscribe, that would be very, 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 very helpful. Helpful. We're currently at 541, so every subscriber counts. Thanks for listening, and until next time.